Hi everyone. I hope you all are having a good weekend. I wanted to touch base. I wanted to give thanks to everyone for the likes, the shares, following the page, following the YouTube, the Facebook, the Instagram, the emails. I'm gonna do better at putting the email on the videos, and I just wanted to give you thank you for watching the videos all the way through and sharing the videos, everything you do. I appreciate it, so thank you. I wanted to touch base on spiritual warfare. And so I was contemplating, and I'm always like doing introspection and reflecting. And so I was thinking about spiritual warfare in the spiritual realm and how it's not a visible realm. And then I was uh, thinking about the secret societies, the cults and covens, right? And the occult knowledge, where these are not things that are visible to the naked eye. They're hidden for a reason, right? And so, just like the spiritual realm, it's not visible to the naked eye. You have to have spiritual eyes to see. You have to have spiritual eyes to be able to identify that you are being spiritually attacked, that you're under spiritual warfare. If not, you're going to think that it's just like, your luck, or that's just how things are. And the way that we have our minds programmed, that's what we believe, right? And then that's what manifests into our reality. So unless we're aware of what happens in the spiritual realm, about how our mind plays a role, the things that we believe in, the things that we accept into our minds, into our eyes, into our ears, the things that we input into our bodies, right? How all of that affects our spiritual eyes, and how secret societies and cults and covens tend to use that to their advantage. The people who usually participate in these things are usually the ones that say, yeah, no, I don't believe in that, right? Meanwhile, they've practiced it before. And I think I've said this before, but the more that I gain knowledge about this, the more that I am targeted, the more that I overcome, the more that I understand that awareness is key, and healing is essential. That shouldn't be a question at this point. There are so many things in society today that help us heal, so many tools made available to us, that choosing not to heal is it's just that, is a choice. We're exercising our free will. We have free will, and when we choose to engage with the hurt, with the pain, with the grief, um, we're exercising our free will. When we choose to be diabolical, when we choose to do things that hurt other people, when we choose to harm others, we're exercising our free will. And so, as for me, I am very grateful for my free will, and I choose to exercise it in a different way. And I choose to heal and forgive. And although it's painful, although sometimes it's hard to swallow the things that people will do with their free will, and as far as people would go, I still choose to forgive. And I choose to show up. The reason being that I love God, and the only reason me and my children are here is because of God's grace and protection and love for us. And so I am honored to show up and speak about the things that need to be spoken about, the things that a lot of people are scared to speak of because of the programming, because that's just how we've been conditioned. And so, because I have a different understanding, I choose to show up, and I do it for the glory for the Most High God, creator source. And although I have so much to learn with the experiences that I've gone through and the knowledge that I've gained, I am called to speak on these things and bring encouragement to the world. And also, when we speak, it creates a ripple effect in the universe. And so there's power in our voice. I'm like, I've been in the scriptures like a lot. So with spiritual warfare, let's get back to on track. With spiritual warfare, it's not visible to the naked eye. It's not like, with Dragon Ball Z where you see him guy going Kamehameha, and you see the ball and he's like throwing the ball and stuff and they're stopping the attacks, right? It's kind of like that, except that we can't see it with our spiritual eyes, right? And so things will hit us if we are not healed. And the way that these people gain access to us in order for them to send these attacks is through our emotions, through our wounds, right? They have to be able to trigger something in us. And so I'll give you an example with me. I am very much targeted by a couple of secret societies and a whole bunch of people, all because of God. This is all because of God. I have done nothing to these people, but it's all because of God, because of who I am to God. And so I've done a lot of healing work, like a lot of healing work, where I am not easily moved, like I'm not easily shooketh. However, I do have 3 children, right? So these diabolical people, when they can attach anything to you, they'll go after the things that you love the most. And so a couple days ago, these people went after one of my kids, right? My daughter, which is like, she's the girl, she's the only girl, but we don't touch the girl, right? And so at that moment, my daughter did something that wasn't usually like her, right? And it wasn't the first time she did it. And so as a mom, I have to discipline her, but I know that this is spiritual warfare, right? But I still have to discipline her. I still have to teach her that, hey, we have to be able to identify that this is happening, right? And that this is not you, and that this is not the way that we behave. And so she's like 11, right? And she's a girl. So I have to still, although I'm aware that she's being spiritually attacked, I have to be able to discipline her, right? And so at the moment of disciplining her, I got a bit out of character where I raised my voice and I got very upset, right? And so at that moment, I gave leadway to the enemy to be able to spiritually attack me, right? But I had to choose between staying calm and collective and like not doing anything with my daughter, or showing her, disciplining her at that moment, letting her know that this is not what we do, right? And then after I did it, I thought about it and I was like, well, I could have gone about the situation in a different way, where I didn't have to get out of character, because what I did was I gave leadway to be spiritually attacked, and boom, what happened? I was spiritually attacked, right? And so now I'm aware when I'm spiritually attacked and like how my body responds to it. So like nothing weird is gonna happen to me, but I'm gonna know, I'm gonna feel it in my body, and I'm gonna be like, okay, so you sent an attack, okay, whatever, let me transmute it, let me go to the gym, let me write, let me go to the park, let me run, whatever it is I need to do to heal, and then let me deal with my daughter. And so at that moment, I realized that I had to do more work with my children, and that I had to that I still had more work to do with myself as well, because that's the leadway, right? That was the leadway. So it was like a weakness type of thing, right? And so although the situation with my daughter was a bit severe, right, and it needed prompt and strict discipline, I could have handled it in a different way, right? So the enemy can only gain access to you if you give it to them, and I gave access to the enemy at that moment, right? I'll come back for part 2.